Hi, Janet. I want to go over a few things to start this process. You have the summer to finish this. It's about staying on task and doing something every single day. Organization is the key to a good lit review. I'm not an organized person, but I went through so many trials and tribulations prior to as I was doing my first lit review and into the beginning of my second lit review. I'm going to give you the tools that I used to be very successful. And this is what I also teach all my dissertation slash masters and undergrad students who are doing capstones, master's theses, and dissertations. It's the key of knowing where everything is and how you set everything up. Okay. So your lit review is 50 pages. You can read all this. Your first task, okay, is to make a list of every topic that you have in your original lit review, because you're doing a full rewrite. Some of that stuff you will use and some of the stuff you won't use. We're not talking about the Judeo-Christian part. Dr. E has taken that responsibility. I've got the rest of it. So you need probably about 35, 40 pages to do. This is manageable in a short period of time based on the work that you put in to each of the topic. Don't think of it as a lit review. Think of it as mini papers. If you do and you nail this, some will be long, some will be short. Done deal. We have to get to the point where we understand what topics we're going to be deal with. There's two types of topics. There are major topics and minor topics. Major topics would be something like I think it's NSSI. That's a major topic. You're going to go into depth in that. And there's other ones that you're going to hit upon and make a point, but you're not going to spend a lot of time and you're not going to spend 10 pages trying to figure it out. It's going to be real short, but those are going to generally come under, let's say, mutilization or self-harm. Those may be shorter sections that don't have a ton of stuff in it, but remember, you're filling pages with information that is basically, in essence, solid. Okay? There were some things brought up in the meeting that we'll be going into. Some of these things you're not going to be the greatest at, but the whole idea is if you can grab a concept and run with it, you're going to show that you have learned something and you've brought something to the table. That's the first part. The second part of this is, basically the understanding that it's small papers that you're putting together, which means you're going to take a topic and that topic's the lead. And then you're going to find subsections of that topic that kind of, think of it as a tripod. Tripod generally has 3 legs. Well, 3 legs for you fall over. You want a top on there, and that's your main topic. And you want as many legs underneath it as possible to make that stand up. Okay. There are ways of doing this. Okay. First off is understanding how paragraphs are built. And I'm going to be sending a video to you today of how a academic dissertation level paragraph. This saved my life. This is the one that got me moving in my doctorate. Okay. And it got me moving toward the goal of passing, because I was an online student and I didn't have a ton of help. Okay. A ton of help. So I went out and I went to the internet and I found out, and the guy's name is, I think it's Guy Brown, and he's the dissertation mentor. And I have all his videos and I've watched every single one, and it helped me build the paper. So I'll get you the link for that too. And you'll get the first video. And then once you go to YouTube, you can just subscribe. He's got theoretical gap. He's got all kinds of stuff, big stuff, little stuff, easy stuff, it doesn't matter. Okay. So when you're studying, when you're looking at your actual sources that you're finding, you're looking for 2 things. One is a nugget and one is a full study. Okay. A nugget is a quote or a sentence that gives understanding. And then you'll find some that are studies with participants and everything else. those can be standalone paragraphs. Each paragraph should only be talking about the subject that you're talking about. So yes, let's say for me, my favorite topic is always burnout. Well, if I'm doing a section on parental, overachieving, each paragraph doesn't talk about overachieving over and over again. It talks about different aspects of overachieving, such as parental involvement and overachieving, perfectionism and overachieving. I'm finding those articles. So I only need maybe 2 or 3 articles for each one that could actually be a study, and then a couple of them that are going to be in the other paragraphs. So think of it this way: 3 paragraphs is almost a page. You do all the top. You find a main topic that you talk about. Maybe you get a page and a half out of just the basics of it. But then the other things that support it may end up being, you may find 3 or 4 things, and you write a page for each one. Now you're at 5 pages. That's how you build the pages. It's not 50 pages. It's each one has maybe 2 to 3 paragraphs, and you're moving on to the next topic. It's not something where you're talking for an hour about one topic. You're talking about a whole bunch of little. Think of this document as being worldly. It's not just about tattooing, and it's not just about that. It's about anything that goes with it. Psychological factors, neurological factors, outside influences, peer pressure, we could say anything. So I don't know how you worded. What do you call it? Narcotics use, or just straight abuse. And using that word, and then another abuse is childhood abuse, and how that can bring it to another. I mean, there's so many avenues here. But don't think about, you have to write big things. You can write small things and big things, medium things and big things, to bring your point home. Okay. And then the last one is how you set up your files. And this is important, because I will check your files in a Zoom meeting to see if you're doing. Okay, I'm trying another library. Hopefully I can get it. So again, I'm going to use keyword of, what do you call it? Burnout again. Burnout. Hopefully this will work. Other libraries not doing very well these days. Full text and peer reviewed. Okay. Audience, language, additional tools like databases, fantastic. Show all, let's see, and then we've got, do I need anything else? Does it say from 20, no, see, 2016 to 2026, okay? And then we go to the bottom and we hit search. Now we're searching, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I want to see author databases, language, does it article. So like there's 8.5 thousand articles. Okay. So we have the same thing. So let's see. That's fine. No, I don't like that one. Don't like that one. Burnout in Nature Walk. That's very weird. Don't want to read about sexual problems. And this is called mining. You're mining. What you want to do is you want to grab as many articles as you possibly can, as quickly as you can, on that topic. At the same time, when we make that original list, now you're going to make a separate list of words that you find in the articles to continue to build little sections as you go along. Burnout is all too real. No, don't like that one. I'm trying to find something I like here. It's going to make sense. Like burnout. I should have put burnout in nurses. I probably would have had first one up. Here's a good one. Let's see. Available. View full text. Now there's a couple things here. Even in your library, it's probably going to have a site here. You don't want to share and you don't want to save because it doesn't save it forever. It only saves it while you're on there. So this is the best way of doing this. You start with full text. Okay. Okay, now you see the article. Now what I do is I just do a cursory look at here. Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of information. Is the introduction really long? Well, no, the introduction is not really long, but it seems like there's a little bit of stuff in here, okay? Don't discriminate. If the title looks good, you're gonna put it in your file. You wanna mine fast. I'm teaching it this way, but what I'm gonna tell you to do is you're going to take and you're just going to go through that list and you're going to click on the ones that you can get access to, that the titles look good, and you're going to put in a file and you're going to come back to it later. That way you're maximizing your time in the library on a specific topic and getting articles to work on. Then you go back and you do the next topic. And then you go back to the file and you break down the ones that you want. Okay? Because I've had ones that say burnout is the worst thing in the entire world, but the article is not even close to even being what the title's about. I don't know why. I think they do it just to irritate people. So just know that. Stay focused on the idea of mining, getting a ton of information to look at, because it's going to make you stronger in your topic, because you still got to read some of it. If the article isn't good, we have a method for that. So, okay, we have this all set up now. We have an article we want to use. Okay. And in this case, you'll see up here, it goes up here, and you got print, not printing. Download. Yes, you're going to download. Okay. But what you want to do is get as much as you can. I don't know what kind of computer. I think you have an Apple, so you should be fine. I like to take the author's names, but I'm not going to do it this time. I'm just going to grab and I'm going to copy the title. It's so important in the whole process, because I used to just email it to myself and it'd come out as, what is it? Research or some other funky word. It would be, we don't want to do this. So this is a research paper. So it's not going to be as intense, but it may give me nuggets, and that's what we need. But again, we don't throw anything away. If your title looks good, we're going to keep it forever. Why? Because when you go to do your discussion, now you have more material to find quotations to go with it. Okay. So we've got this portion. Now we are going to download it. Okay. We want the full text. Download. Download will complete. Now it's going to come up. So I'm going to go to my desktop and build something real quick. So this is on, let's say, burnout. So I'm going to make a new folder, and each topic has their own folder. Minor, major, it doesn't matter. You don't lump them all together. I don't lump them all burnout together. I may put some that look like they're all just straight burnout of different whatever, but then I'll move it to where I believe it's going to fit in. So when I go to write that subject, only thing in front of me is the articles I need. I don't have to go back and forth. So I'm going to build one that's going to be called burnout. Okay, so you see the first file. Now I click that again and I make a new folder. Okay, and my other folder in here is called trash. I spelled it wrong, but you know what I'm doing. It's not the trash that you have in a corner. This is trash for this. So now you see how this right here, I'm not going to remember what that article is about. I hit V and there's the title of it. Now I go back to burnout. I don't put it in trash yet. Okay, there it is. Now I'll be able to open that right here, or I can minimize this and I can go to my files and I go to desktop and burnout's right there. Okay. So now let's say my goal is 10 articles, 20 articles. I can have all the articles I want in there. I now open this up. Okay. And I begin to read. Now understand there's a process to the reading. It's not reading, it's skimming. Okay. What you're looking for is, does this work? And we're going to pretend that this works. Okay. Does this work? Does it have something to give me. Now, when I look at this, this one would be a trash file. Why would this be a trash file? Because it's really technical. It's super, super technical. It's a lot of numbers and everything else. There's a lot of those numbers I understand, but it doesn't help me. But I can go down to the discussion here, and there may be a quote in here that may, okay? Let's see. I'm looking for the words, one result. And there's keywords you can look for. Prior studies doesn't count. Previous studies doesn't count. Okay? So like right here, this is this sentence right here is a nugget that we may need later based on whatever happens in your from your participants. So don't stress. Your key is you have a lot of stuff to read later. So I don't like this one. I'm going back to that file wherever I have it, because I got a lot open, because I've got I'm audio visual. So now I take this file and I throw it in my trash file. The only thing on here is articles that I really want to dive into. The trash file is if I need a quote later on, or if I find another section that goes into that a little deeper, I might have a nugget that I can throw into that paragraph. So don't throw anything away. So, I mean, you can have the outside say lit review, and then after that, all of your files are separated by the topics that you're going to be doing. Now, you can take the burnout, and let's say one of the things is personal accomplishment. I can take burnout, and I can have a subfile that says personal accomplishment. However it works, but the basics is this. Whatever the files are in there are the ones you really want to read and get to. Now, you need to read the introduction, the methods, so you know what kind of people they're talking about, the participants are, and the discussion. And you're skimming it. You're not reading it. You're not reading it to actually get ready to write. So now you've looked at it, you've skimmed it, now you read it, and you make notes on there. So if you have a good Adobe program or a PDF reader, you highlight whatever and you resave it in there, and you got all your highlights. If you like to write it down, write it down. There's one other thing. For burnout here, I need another file. I need citation file. So I go here and I create a different new folder and I put citation. Now I go back and I go to Word and I get a new document, file, new. Now I save it immediately as save as, I'm gonna put burnout citation. Now, if you have a citation manager, you can just don't worry about what I just said. Citation managers are the best ever. So we're here. We're going to go burnout, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to save. Okay. Now I'm going to go back here. Now, I've not used this library before. This is Point Loma's library. I don't have access to our library. As soon as I get it, I'll remake a video for you. But in here, you now go to here, and you'll see this little thing it says cite. Okay, so APA 7th edition. This is perfect. That doesn't mean it's going to be perfect when you copy and paste it. Do not use copy to the clipboard. Okay, go here, copy, go back to the Word file, and paste it in. Now, when you paste it in, it's going to come out wrong. You're now going to go match destination formatting. It'll take out the gray. Then you put your highlight this. You grab that little the smaller arrow there, and you slide it over. And now your first citation is ready to go. These are all things that'll save you time. They'll save you time. For citations, only the first letter. Unless there's a colon or question mark, then the first letter after it. This is in italics. The volume number is in italics, not the issue number. And then basically you want to take this and you basically, I wouldn't worry about it right now, but you want to make sure that those are all hyperlinked. Okay. And those are real easy. That's real easy to do. I can teach that later, but see how it's all set up? That's perfect. How long did that take me? I did a lot of talking. That would take me, I could spend 30 minutes. I can schedule 30 minutes right after I get up to get in the library and dive in to that topic as much as I possibly can. But I'm not doing a whole bunch of, actually, I'm not doing a ton of work. I'm doing a little bit here. Then I'll come back later and I'll start to read and decide which, if I have 20 articles and I keep 5, I got a good chance of being able to write most of that section. Then I go to the next topic and I get a couple topics together and then I start to write. Because the key is to get to 50 pages. If you don't start writing, it doesn't go. So I'm going to send you some other stuff, some videos that you need to watch and everything else. Do those things, but get me that list as soon as possible. I'd like it by Friday. Okay? Let's get this done, Janet.